Every single person was an uncle, and everybody was an auntie. So every time they see me, they say, "Oh, so you the boyfriend?" They never. Oh, and I was always her friend. I was never her boyfriend. I was always her friend.
Right.
Always. All the way up to the point that we got married, I was her friend all the time. They would see me at every event. Everybody knew who I was. All the uncles knew me, but I was always just her friend.
And you know now, Dofo, Atu Akwaba. Now, if you don't understand what I just said, and you know now, Dofo means brothers and sisters and loved ones. Atu, it's something that we actually do in Ghana. Whenever you haven't seen someone in a long time and you give them a hug, you say Atu. Don't ask me where that came from. I don't know. So don't ask me. And then Akwaba, of course, is you're welcome. So if you ever make it to Ghana and someone tells you Akwaba, it means welcome. You know, welcome home. Okay, so thank you for checking out, clicking the video, first of all, and thank you for checking out the channel. I appreciate you guys so much. Today, well, first of all, I just want to tell you a little bit about this channel. I create content on how to bridge the gap between continental Africans and the African diaspora all over the world, because I believe that we have a lot more in common than the differences that we've had, that we've always thought that we had in the past. So I'm just making this content to make sure that, we show our own stories in a much positive light. Okay, so thank y'all for checking the channel. And if you like this kind of content, please feel free to make this video. Give this video a big thumbs up. Click the notification bell, and so that anytime I upload a new video, you can come in and go check it out. And if you consider subscribing to the channel. So today, the two beautiful people that you're looking at before me are Oliver and his beautiful wife, Ya. Oliver is from here in the United States. Ya is from Ghana. And this is going to be a love story. I mean, it's obviously, if you're watching this today, it's Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. So I've known Oliver quite a while. We both are alumni of Hampton University, HU, our beautiful home by the sea. And we met we met there, but obviously when we left, everybody's separated and spread all over the country and probably the world. So shout out to all my HU fam out there. But I'm not gonna talk too much. I'm just gonna let you guys tell your story. So first of all, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for taking this time to talk to me, family. And so just go ahead and introduce yourselves. Talk about your background, and just tell us a little bit about how you met, first of all.
Okay, you want to go?
You go.
Okay, well, well, like you said, my name is Ya. So my parents are from Ghana. I was born here in the U.S., but I spent so much time in Ghana. And Oliver, we met. It's funny because we've seen each other around, because I went to Clark Atlanta University, so we used to go to HBCU events here in New York City. So we've seen each other a couple of times, but it was actually one of my really good friends from Clark Atlanta who introduced me to Oliver. And because of Facebook, I was able to kind of look him up and say, oh, I know him. He goes to the parties. So he called me and we started talking, and he invited me out on a date. And from there, it's we started hanging out, and that was it. But Oliver's one of those type of people. He's like, do you like me? Yes or no? Type of person. So he's just like, do you want to be my girlfriend? Yes or no? And I'm like, oh.
You went old school, right? Like days.
And so it's actually funny. It was Valentine's Day when we actually started finding out. Yeah, that's how we met, and then we just started.
Wow, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then you want to add anything?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, the part that she left out was the fact that we both went to these different parties, and we actually had a picture of sitting together at a party, and that's how she was able to look me up, and I was able to look her up on Facebook. We actually sat next to each other, posing.
Oh, okay. But you didn't know each other at the time?
No.
Not at all. So now it's a thing where it's like, oh, so it wasn't love at first sight when you saw me? Like, really? Like, you just let it go? So he's like, oh, no, it's not like that.
Oh, okay, interesting. So Oliver was telling me that you all both are from the Bronx, right?
Yes.
And you live down the street from each other, or not too far from each other?
Not too far from each other. He lives maybe like about a good 5-minute drive away from me. He's sort of closer to the east side. I'm on the west side, but our paths never crossed, you know? So we went to private school, went to public school. He went to HU. I went to Clark Atlanta and Atlanta University, Atlanta. And we only met up when we came back to New York and, had that connection from the HBCU party.
Wow, that's
yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Around and, don't really know each other.
Exactly. But we know a lot of people that's in common now. So it's like, oh, you know him? Okay, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So when you all first met, did you tell Oliver that you're originally from Ghana? Like, how did that conversation go?
Oh yeah, because of course my name. So he was like, oh, so where you from? And I'm like, oh, from Ghana. And that was one thing because I traveled a lot. So I was like, I said, okay, well, if you're gonna be with me, after you want to be my boyfriend girlfriend type thing. But if you want to be with me, you need your passport because Ghana is like plan B, right? Like if anything happens here, we're on a plane to Ghana, then COVID hit, and our plan B went out the window. But so I used to talk to him a lot about how my family, they all came to the U.S. but they feel comfortable enough to go back to Ghana. So a lot of them went back to Ghana. My dad actually went back to Ghana to live. And then my mom, when she retired, she went back to Ghana to live. So it was more like, oh, he met my family and they, checking him out like, But, but I would tell him stories of how I would go to Ghana and how, they are there and how, I love it as far as like the feeling of being in Ghana. I wasn't sure if I could actually live in Ghana yet.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So Oliver, this question is for you. What was it like meeting her family, her parents and everything? Because obviously we're even though we live in America, we still, maintain our culture and our roots. And especially living in the Bronx, there's a lot of Ghanaian people over there. Like, and I know quite a bit about the Bronx because we lived in Massachusetts. I grew up outside Boston, like I was telling Oliver, and we used to come to the Bronx a lot for Ghanaian events, Ghanaian parties back in the day. Ghana Association is really huge in the Bronx. Right. The picnic in Connecticut in August. So we used to do all that. So we, my father maintained our Ghanaian culture as much as possible by, being attached to the Ghanaian community in New York.
Ghanaian culture, what I've noticed is everybody's always dressed to the nines wherever they go, especially the guys. The women are always dressed up, but it's always nice to see that the guys are dressed up. And I'm not talking about ties, I'm talking about bow ties. I'm talking about cufflinks. I'm talking about just really done up nice. I'm talking about all the older guys and the younger guys. So it's really cool to be, just accepted within that culture.
That's awesome. And guys, if you're enjoying this content, please make sure that you're giving the video a big thumbs up, giving the video a like so you can push this video out there to people just like you. So Oliver, here's a question that I wanted to ask you. Do you think it's different at the time that you all were dating? Do you think it's different dating a black woman from here as opposed to a woman that was raised here but has the African culture or Ghanaian culture?
Yeah, because the reason why I would say yes is because what I've noticed about women from other countries, they're a bit more confident and more sure, and they understand where they come from, more or less, and they walk with that air of confidence with them. Ya is a very confident woman. She's very sure of herself, and she's very, she's shaking her head no. She's very modest, but she's very much a take charge kind of woman. I really like that. I like the confidence that she always shows. So I think dating Ya at the time was eye-opening, especially for me. She actually opened me up to do new things. Like the first thing she actually said.
Yeah, here's another thing I wanted to ask you guys. When you got married, what was the experience like? Because Ghanaian weddings are completely a little bit different. You know, we've got the engagement ceremony. There's something called knocking. There's that. There's the engagement ceremony, and then there's the actual what we call the white wedding, the Western type wedding. So, Oliver, what was that like for you? Was it shocking? Was it like wow, this is a lot? You know, what was that like?
Well, it was interesting because Ya told me what needed to happen. I had to pay a dowry for her. I'm like, a dowry? What is this? And she said, yeah, you have to. The one thing that I do remember distinctly was the peace. You have to make sure.
Say that again.
Peace snaps.
Okay.
So and whatever you get, the liquor, you have to make sure you presented liquor, and you have to present money. You have to present like a whole bunch of things to her family, because they basically losing a daughter, and she's coming with me, so I have to pay for that. and it was like a traditional white ceremony. We wore all white, and I had to have a representative represent me, and pretty much that's, you said knocking. I have to go and see where she is and say, oh, that's her right there, but everything is spoken in Tree. So I didn't speak Tree, and one of her mom's aunts and her uncle actually represented me for the family and talked on my behalf in Tree to pick out Ya. So that was a very interesting experience. We had we all wore white. I don't think we had outfits made. Ya had an outfit made, but I wore white, and that's pretty much what I remember. And it was the day right before the wedding, so it was that Saturday, and then the next day on that Sunday we had actual white wedding. And in that wedding, people still talk about that to this day. It was like the hottest ticket in town, So it was big fun. I remember, she's gonna say the food. I remember the food, but it was a lot of fun. It was American food, but it was a lot of fun. And her dad actually got up and danced and everything, which was always a good time. Every time I see her dad having a good time, it makes us really smile. So,
that's awesome.
But just the whole experience of the knocking and just the culture of it is beautiful.
That's awesome. Do you have you dated other before you met Oliver? Of course, have you dated other black men from here? And the reason why I asked that is because I wanted to ask you, now that you're obviously married to a black man from the United States, is it different, or is it as comparison to Ghanaian men?
A lot of the differences come from just him liking the Ghanaian culture and wanting to be a part of it, instead of it being where with other African Americans, it's kind of like take it or leave it. It's like, I'm American, this is the way I am, and that's it. But he was more open to it.
Okay, so it seems like it's more unique in terms of. Okay, so I can see why y'all are together now. Then.
I would say that Oliver is very easygoing, so it wasn't really issue in the beginning. It was just like, we were just flowing. It was friendship. We love spending time together, all of that. It was really more so when we got married, then it was like, mentally you have different expectations when you're married, and I don't know why, I don't know what that is, but yeah.
How long have y'all been married now?
Going on 7 years in September.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
21st night of September.
Yeah.
He remembers the date, so that's important.
Hope you guys are enjoying the video. Make sure you comment down below if you have any questions, comments, concerns. If you ever had any relationship experiences with somebody from Africa, or even if you're in Africa and you've had a relationship experience with a brother or a sister from the United States, we'd appreciate your comments.
Yeah. So I'm glad you mentioned food. That's actually a great segue into the next thing I wanted to ask about. So who does the cooking at home?
A little bit, not all. Okay, he knows how to cook, so I love the fact that he knows how to cook. You know,
right?
So I cook, but I'm not passionate about cooking. You know, like I can eat. I love going out to eat, but he does cooking at least half the time.
That's awesome. What's your favorite Ghanaian food, Oliver?
I like the jollof rice. I like they always have a debate between the Ghanaians and Nigerians about jollof, and I know that's
the jollof wars.
I'm always lean with the Ghanaians. I know her mom, every time I go to the house, she always brings out a plate of food, and I pretty much eat whatever she puts in front of me because it's always good. She can give me fish, she can give me butt float, she can give me peanut butter chicken.
Peanut butter stew.
Peanut butter stew.
Soup.
Yeah.
And catch coin, you know, but
that's my favorite food.
Oh, I love it with omuto. Like the fufu I like, but I have to eat it with omuto. Like that's good.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
I don't like spicy, so they always have to. She always have to turn the spice down for me.
No, he's always sweating when he eats the food because he'll eat it. He'll and he just be sweating. He's just like, yeah.
Especially if you're eating in Ghana, you're always gonna be sweating. And you know, one thing about our culture is, you know, in Ghana, you're not gonna go over somebody's house and they don't offer you food. If somebody comes over your house and you don't give them food, it's like an insult. Or if they offer you food and you turn them down, you can't do that, you know. So yeah, that's our culture. We're very welcoming. You go over somebody's house, they're gonna offer you food or drink. You know, and you got to take, even if you just came from somebody else's house and you just ate over there, you still got to eat a little bit. So
you still got to eat a little something, yeah.
Now, here's the thing I did want to ask you, Oliver. When you first went to Ghana, when you first arrived in Ghana, Africa, you're in Africa. You went through the doors of Kotoka International Airport. You saw the people, the throngs of people outside, just like always. What was that like? What was the environment like? What did you feel like? What did your spirit feel like?
I felt reflection to actually touch down on where my ancestors were from. So it felt really, 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 really good. The air was just different. I walked a little lighter, and everybody was just so welcoming. Everybody was like Aquaba everywhere I went. And like y'all said, like you mentioned earlier, I think the hustle that the people had over there, having nothing, is 0 to none as compared to anywhere I've seen anywhere else that I traveled. And I think ever since I've traveled over there, I have not bought anything from the street. I'll buy it from there, but not from here. So I think that the welcoming culture, the welcoming nature of everyone, it really made me feel at home and at ease, and they were very, very welcoming both times I went.
Okay. So before you even met your wife, did you have any preconceived notions of Africa from what you've heard, obviously through the media, through being educated in this country and everything else? What did you think of Africa? Just in your mind, like what did you always envision of Africa growing up here in America?
That's a great question. They don't put Africa in a very positive light in the media for whatever reason. They make it seem like Africa is either safari, people live in huts, and the women don't have shirts, and the guys have loincloths and spears and out in the safari. No, I didn't think Africa was like that. I didn't know what it was like. You know, I know she said we traveled a few places before we went to Ghana. So we went to down in the Bahamas and the Caribbean, and she said, this is like Africa. It's very similar to Africa. So I was already able to get my mindset adjusted to when I went to Africa, knew that it was similar to the Caribbean. That was number one. Number two, I'm not a very judgmental person. So I didn't really have any negative thoughts. But I know on TV, as far as the media, they will always show Sally Struthers and the children starving, and people are very poor and desolate, you know, And I know there's parts of Africa that's like that, but then there's also parts of Africa that's like very rich with culture and a very proud people come from there all over the continent. And I think that's something that more people need to see and erase those negative connotations out their head, because I've seen skyscrapers, I've seen I've seen some of the most beautiful homes over when I was in Ghana. I was actually attended some parties there, and I was just like, wow, this is really nice compared to places I've seen in America. I've seen places in America that was like how they describe Africa. You encourage people to go with an open mind. In the food, you can eat and not get fat. Everything over there is fresh,
organic.
Everything is super fresh. I mean, the bread is fresh, the bread is lighter, the milk tastes better, the eggs.
Every day he was just like, okay, so what we eating today? Like, what's going on, you know?
Right.
Over here it just kind of different. You know, everything was fresh. It was fresher. People was nicer, and you know, I love it. I can't wait to go back. You know, if it wasn't for this pandemic, we would have been over there now.
Yeah. Here's the final question I wanted to ask you guys. This goes out to you, y'all. There's a lot of sisters here in the United States, even single sisters out now, who, you know, are not either married or are not in serious relationships because, you know, they obviously want to be with a brother, but, you know, some are looking elsewhere to other cultures. What would you say to somebody who might be open, to a woman who might be open to maybe thinking about being involved with an African brother, or specifically a Ghanaian brother in this case? Like, what are some of the things that they got to, you know, think about? And the reason why I asked that is because I'm in a few Facebook groups of, you know, African Americans that are looking to, you know, move to Ghana, repatriate, and they're always asking these types of questions, like, what are relationships like in Ghana? What are the men like? You know, and things of that nature. So what would you say?
I would tell them to come in with an open heart, only because when you date someone with the expectations, with certain expectations, that's what you're down for. You know, when you're dating someone who is from Ghana, that's here, it's a little bit different because there's a cultural shift that they have made already. However, if you're going to Ghana with the expectation of really finding someone, your soulmate or so, you may have the wrong expectation because that person have different needs at the time, you know? So you can't be, it's harder for you to be a African American sister and go to Africa with the expectation that you're going to find your soulmate there. And because not all of them, but their sole purpose is to come here because they want to make a living. They want to be able to be a provider. And if they come in with the true intention of being with you, then that's perfect, you know? But definitely don't go in with the expectation of, oh, this is just for love. You have to realize that, you know, in relationships, there's different expectations that we want from each other. And, you know, be open to it, especially if someone is already here, they established themselves here. Definitely be open to it because the culture, it isn't a big culture difference between African American and African. You know, we're basically the same people. So, you know, definitely be open to it because it's not where, you know, it shouldn't be a major issue to date someone who's just African.
All right. That was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Much. You all are a lovely couple. I'm wishing you nothing but the best in any of your future endeavors. So thank you so much. That's from the top.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good speaking with you as well.
Good speaking with you as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Maybe one day we can connect in Ghana. Whenever
yes.
that happens, that would be.
Yes.
So,
you know,
kings and queens, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. You're awesome. Please make sure you're giving the video a big thumbs up. Make sure you're clicking the notification bell so anytime I upload a new video, you can come in and connect with it. And also, please consider subscribing to this channel. Share this video with your friends and family. I just want to wish you a happy Valentine's Day to all the lovers out there in the world. And I just want to leave you with one thing before we end this. Not all Black people will stick together, but the ones who do will be the ones who build the future. And with that, this is King Anan Ghana. We're bridging the gap between continental Africans and the African American diaspora. And I'll catch you on the next video.